Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. The power of having multiple bank accounts. Now, I said I would talk about that in this episode because you really want to have multiple bank accounts, because one of the things that you can do with it is you can put money for different things in different accounts. Like you can have a savings, and like I always talk about a savings, right? But the savings ain't so much to make money, because low interest and stuff. You got to have a whole lot. You have to have a whole lot to make it. But you can use it as an emergency fund. You can use it as an investment fund. There's so many things you can do with it. When I had that stroke almost a year ago, I had so much money in my savings, I wasn't worried about it. I didn't miss any bills or anything. So it can be emergency. It can be your investment fund. In fact, it'd be smart to have one savings for just to save money. Then have another account that's your investment account. And that don't have to be your savings. That could be another checking account. I got like 3 checking accounts. Like I'm working out of one bank and one credit union now, and it's incredible because then my credit union, I use that money to pay certain bills. Another bank, I use that to pay other bills. Then I have savings in both my bank and my credit union. And you know what, you get a lot of money. And you don't have your money in one place. And that's another thing. And also, too, because there was a point with my credit union, there was a massive data breach. And everybody's account got hit. But thankfully, my other account, it didn't get hit. So that's something else, too. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. See, when you have that and, you got to feed it, it makes you manage your money better. It makes you manage your money better, because when you have just one account, people just tend to spend it. Like a savings account, like I'm always talking about feeding your savings account. Just having that, it makes me feel a whole lot better. Because like I say, I pay different bills with my different checking accounts and everything. And you want an emergency account, maybe an investment account. You can have an emergency fund. If you own a home or something, you can have a fund just for like repairs around the house. You want to send that money into different places. When you're managing your money, you want to be in a position where you can always use it. You have different things. That's the power of it. In fact, sometimes I think about another account, but then I'm like, okay, what am I use it for? Like if I get a third bank, it would specifically be for maybe some business or something else, maybe retirement, something. It'll be whatever. Well, I say retirement. I know I ain't going to retire. I'm too much a workaholic. But it's actually a good thing, because you got to keep them up. And feeding your different accounts means you're going to, first of all, think about what you're spending your money on. You're not going to spend it on just here and there and everywhere. And because you're going to be thinking, it's like, well, did I feed my accounts first? Did I pay myself first? Did I put money into that savings? Did I put money into that money market? Am I buying a cash deposit with it? Well, certificate of deposit. Whatever the case, am I investing in some of the bank's things and everything? Oh, I got all this. Oh, okay, I have an major emergency come up, medical emergency. I can't work for a couple months. Can I cover everything? Everything was covered. In fact, the way I set up everything, I could probably not work and not bring any money in for maybe 6 months at least. Speaking of 6 months, yeah, you want to have at least, I would say, for at least one of your savings accounts, you want to put in like at a minimum. I'm saying at a minimum 1 month of that can cover your bills. I'm saying that at a minimum. Really, you want to put in 3. Now, if you can put in more, or even a year, that's better. The more you can put in, the better. But that's what you want to do. You know, you want to have that. Like when I had my medical emergency and stroke, like I said, I couldn't work for a while. I couldn't work for maybe the equivalent of 2 months. But not a single bill was missed. Not a single bill. Let me say that again, not a single bill, because I had the accounts. You want the multiple accounts, because I'm gonna tell you something now. You know, I always discuss money management. When you know you got to feed your accounts first, you might not buy that extra like liquor or something. You may not buy like some shoes you don't need. You going to think about it. Everything is going to be an investment. You going to pay yourself first. You know, you ain't going to spend your money on some like luxury item, or I'm going to say luxury item, like name brand stuff. Rich people really don't buy that. That's another conversation. But when you do that, you look up, all of a sudden you got all this money in different accounts. You're like, oh, okay. If you have an emergency, boom. You want to invest in a business, boom. Let me talk about that for a second, because I'm always talking about your savings and investing in a business. Most people do not get a loan to start off. Let me say that again. Most businesses start off from their own money, money from their relatives. If they're lucky, they might find an investor. Investor's not going to invest in something unless they see it's working, though. Like if you starting a business from scratch, it's better to have your own money. And in fact, even as you grow, the more you don't have to deal with the banks, the better. And there's actually plenty of businesses out there that don't, you know, because people, they going off their savings, or they have an investment fund, something like that. Very important. Like you want to have that, like just mark it off like, okay, savings, investment fund. If that's what you want, you know. Savings, emergency fund. You can have a savings just to have a down payment for a property. You know, either a retail place. You know, you might want to invest in getting what do you call that? You might want to invest in like a rental property or something like that, or commercial property or something. You have a fund just for that, like funds for different stuff. You know what? You could have a fund just to party. You say, okay, this is my blow the money fund. No, ain't nothing wrong with that. Because you got your other stuff. You have a fund. It's like, okay, this is where I'm going to spend my money from in order to party, in order to travel. You can have a travel fund. But that's the power. Like each thing you put money into, you paying each money, you paying each account. Always pay yourself first. That's just a general thing. I want y'all to think about that. But that's the power of having multiple bank accounts. All right. At the very least, and I'm saying at the very least, have a checking and a savings. All right. Have a checking and a savings, and preferably have a bank where you don't have to, like, you know, it take you 3 days to move stuff from your savings to the checking. Shout out Kevin Hart. Anyway, I want y'all to really think about that, really work on that, okay? And y'all have a great weekend. I'll get back with y'all next week, all right? So you know the deal. Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.